welcome to another edition of Main Street Connect's FCIAC Football Fast 5. Everything you need to know about Fairfield County High School football in 5 minutes or less. With me once again is former Stamford High School head football coach and professional football scout for JL Sports, Kevin Jones. Kevin, great to have you back.
It's great to be here.
All right, let's get back to it. 5 questions about Fairfield County High School football. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, question 1. Let's recap our game of the week from last week. We had a good one. Staples wins on a last-second field goal. We were thinking McMahon was going to be a potential playoff contender, but is their season probably over before it started, unless they can pull out a miraculous win against New Canaan this week?
Well, when you have a sophomore quarterback like Staples, you're going to have some struggles. That just comes with the territory. So McMahon takes his 14-0 lead at halftime. They're actually up 21-7 late in the third quarter. And Staples' sophomore quarterback Jack Massey responded. We'll talk more about Staples in a minute, but for McMahon, where do you go from here? There's no time to feel sorry for yourselves. You better lick your wounds and get up because you've got New Canaan and Wilton the next 2 weeks. If you don't win those games, playoff hopes are probably over, and you go back to playing the role of spoiler the rest of the way.
All right, and New Canaan also barely survived an upset against Fairfield Ward, scored 21 points in the final 9 minutes of that game. Which team is more vulnerable to a loss at this point, Staples or New Canaan?
Both of them have very tough schedules going forward. But remember what I said last week about having to play New Canaan for 4 quarters. So, Trinity had them for a half 2 weeks ago last week. Now you have Ward had them for 3 quarters. So 11 minutes left. They're up 14-7. New Canaan gets it figured out, scores 21 unanswered, and they win 28-14. Staples had a similar type of victory against McMahon. Both teams have figured out a way to win late in games. Figured out a way to pull out victories, and you have to, you can't help but be impressed that both of these teams can do this every week. I think the difference is going to be senior leadership at the quarterback position. Staples is a sophomore quarterback. He's going to have a few more struggles before he gets it all figured out. New Canaan has all-state senior quarterback Matt Milano, and to me, having an all-state senior guy running your huddle is going to be the difference between winning tight games and losing tight games. So, advantage goes to New Canaan there. I think Staples is probably more vulnerable to a loss down the stretch.
All right, question 3. If quarterback Delshawn Wilson can replicate the success of his performance against West Hill he had last week, should Norwalk be considered a serious contender in the FCIAC going forward?
Well, Delshawn blew it up again this week. He went 14 of 16 for 191, 3 touchdowns. The Bears had another 284 yards on the ground. Really impressive attack. They beat up West Hill 42-13. So at first glance, you say, hey, they're 3-0. They're really scoring a lot of points, playing good defense. These guys are a contender. But then you kind of look at the combined record of the guys that they've beaten. They're 3-6. So maybe we need to wait another week or two before we say, yeah, Norwalk is for real and they're a contender. However, I saw this team live. They have some sort of mojo thing going on where they have this ability to make big plays when they need them. And so I'm going to say, you know what? I think they're a contender. And I know my good friend Coach Albrecht over there in Norwalk's going to say that I jinxed them if they do lose a game. Sorry, John. But they got something special, and I really like what they have to offer going down the stretch.
All right, Coach, got to twist the knife a little bit here. Stanford fell to 1-2. Is this going to be another year of underachieving talent at Stamford High?
Well, I don't like that underachieving. I mean, they're 1-2. So there's that great saying that you are what your record says you are. And so if you're really talented, you're not going to start 1-2. So maybe they got to look at themselves and say, hey, we're completing less than 50% of our passes. He was 13 of 30 passing again last week. The run game's absolute. They got to get things shored up. They got to make a few changes, balance out the offense, and figure out what's going wrong on third down and get that change. So the next 4 games for Stanford are really going to tell the tale of the season for them. They got to win them all if they want to get back in the playoff race.
All right, once again, that'll bring us to our Main Street Connect Game of the Week, Greenwich at Trumbull, Thursday. That's tonight if you're watching this on the day this video launches, 6 p.m. How much will this game reveal about the landscape of the FCIAC?
I don't know if I can answer that question right now. Trumbull's a big unknown. Their first game against Catholic Memorial up in Massachusetts got canceled. They easily beat West Hill and Ludlow the following 2 weeks. So are they for real? We don't know yet. So the game's intriguing because I don't know if we have enough information to know whether Trumbull or Greenwich is good enough to contend for the league title right now. You want my pick?
I would love your pick.
I'm going to take the home team, Trumbull. I think they're very powerful. I think they have a lot of weapons. Balanced attack is going to be a dogfight. Defense and special teams are going to kind of tell the story in this one. But I'll go with the Eagles.
I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. I think they are going to become the team to beat in this league. We'll see. We will see. All right, that'll do it for another week of questions answered. Go support your local high school team. Until next time, I'm your host, Eric Gendron.